Hello.
Yep.
Yup. Oh my gosh, how is everyone doing? I was like, Ganondoodle's cat. What are you doing? Remind me what your cat's name is again.
Yeah.
So I can.
What kind of nonsense is this? Ganondoodle's cat.
That will drive me absolutely up the wall. I'm sure they're lovely.
She likes to do this when she's in the gym and played with her yet.
She.
In which case, yeah. You know what?
Fair game to the cat.
Yeah, fair game to the cat.
Oh my god. You're so mean.
We had hours to do it, but then she wanted to sleep. Oh, well, that's cat scheduling for you.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Ugh.
Like, where's scheduling conflict? I'm tired.
Alright.
Schnuffy? Is that what?
Schnuffy.
Schnuffy!
Or pancake. Pannenkoek. Is my switch turned? Oh my god, it's still on?
It's still
No
working?
Way.
No.
Okay, everything is gonna go absolutely tits up soon.
Hello, Herzenstrei.
Hello everybody else.
Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, howdy.
From earlier.
Yeah.
That I might have missed.
Yeah.
Sorry that I loud music everyone just now. Oh yeah, we're going to press.
We sure are.
The judge.
Yeah.
Which will absolutely not lead to this bench getting wrecked, I don't think.
This is gonna go well. Yep, Kinado.
I am not ready for this case.
Nobody, I know. You also just came back inside because you thought it was snowing like crazy and you just had to quickly run through the garden like a maniac.
Not gonna lie, the other day we never get snow here, but we had actually some proper snow.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll admit, my mum sent me a message saying like, I assume you know it's snowing outside. And I was like, no!
So we dragged the dog outside.
So yeah, I mean it was time for her walk.
Yeah, she likes snow.
She does.
She doesn't like wet feet.
No.
So the fact that it wasn't quite proper, like...
It wasn't like snowy snow,
yeah.
She was very happy with that.
Yeah.
So... But it was really pleasant. We took her on like... We have like 3 different lengths of time outside with her.
Yeah.
So we call them like short loop, regular loop, long loop.
Yeah. And this...
depending on when she poops.
Yeah.
Or how wet it is.
Yeah.
But she very rarely goes on the long loop, because...
Yeah.
But you betcha, when it snowed, dog went on the long loop.
Yeah, she did. It was really cool. There were like fox tracks.
Yeah, there was just us and the foxes and one cat.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice, honestly.
Oh, you had snow.
Oh,
you had frozen snow and lots of black ice. Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah, ours luckily... Well, I say luckily.
No, luckily.
I mean, no, it was luckily. It rained really heavily overnight that night.
Yeah.
Because if it had got colder, that would have 100% turned into just dangerous.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be snowing today, but I'm looking out the window now and just looks wet. That's Surrey snow for you.
You can come in, you know.
Are you hanging out? Gesundheit.
Come on, Boof. I'm a fucking weirdo.
What's up with you, Bing Bean?
You go for a sniff?
Probably.
Sus. Dogs. Dog is being sus.
Lows of -6 for today and tomorrow for you. Oi, oi.
Oh no, I think ours is like -3.
Oh yeah, I think the lowest ours gets down to in the next few days is -3. I think that's today and maybe tomorrow. Then it's supposed to be going back up to -2.
It's -4 actually now.
Is it? Oh, okay. Earlier on it was saying -3, so.
Yeah, no, it's -2, -4, -2, -1.
Oh, okay. Yours is definitely looking different to mine.
Yeah, well, ours.
Mine is still claiming that it's snowing, so.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah, right.
It's not snowing. I can confirm. It is not snowing.
-2, -1, -2, -1.
85% chance of snow. Well, that's a lie. Anyway, sorry, we're not here to talk about.
Maybe slippery. Snow continuing until 2:30. Good for it. Lies. I hear the church bells that you stole.
I have nothing to deal. I mean, I didn't nothing.
Ding dong, bitch.
Right. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
It's okay. You don't actually have to start. I'm
That's
doing
true.
Jigoku. You don't have to worry. It's me.
Yeah, well then Strongheart talks. Then I have to get out of my chair and it becomes a whole thing and I'm old and my knees exist and life's just difficult, okay? What is the thing?
Well, she chucked all her blankets out of her
Nicely
basket,
warmed basket.
and now she's being a fusspot.
And she's trying to
With
nest.
static ears.
Yep.
Oh my god, they are very static.
Well, that serves you right for getting her acrylic blankets, doesn't it?
But don't you put this blame on me. Anyway.
You had records during the last days not here but in the country of like 15C. Minus 15 or 15 plus? Because
one of those is...
well, both of those are...
Yeah.
Well, no. One of those is more alarming than the other.
Plus.
Okay, that is alarming, actually.
Yeah.
Crikey.
That's really
that's,
not...
I was going to say minus, I could imagine, but plus.
Yeah, okay,
Jeez, no.
No, ours hasn't actually been this cold for a long time.
Yeah, no, ours is... It's difficult. The problem is, I mean, I can't warm up at the moment because it's so damp.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dying.
Yeah. Do you want to turn the heater on?
No. No. It's for the dog.
Okay.
And you.
That's what you... Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, what you said. It's for your bitches, bitch.
Wow. Wow, okay. Alright. Make me sound like an abuser. I see how it is.
Is it? Does it sound like if I call myself your bitch? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying what I'm saying.
Alright, let's get into this. Jigoku is waiting impatiently, I'm sure.
He sure is.
It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago now. The target wasn't... Oh wait, I keep forgetting that when I have to read this out, I keep forgetting I have to press as well. What do you mean? I have to do both things. A year ago, when Kazuma was still in Japan then. Correct.
I can just sit back and do nothing. This is wonderful.
Did what? You have to do the thinking now, remember? It wasn't the exam... Yeah.
I can't.
Eat that, beach.
No thinking happening here. Go home.
It was at that examination center for applicants for the study tour that I approached him. There you go, you gotta do things. Kazuma.
I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I'd consider travelling to Britain on an assassination mission.
Okay, well, they didn't really mince words. Gotta appreciate that.
Surely not. I thought it was a joke at first, of course. But then... It was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour.
So you agreed to it? Just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but... Assassination? The Empire of Japan had accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. But behind the scenes, the chosen students were to be given assassination missions.
Subtle.
I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart.
Toss off. Oh, I couldn't help it. I had to send somebody out to do an assassination mission. And I just happened to accidentally pick this one guy who has a grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah, different kind of fucked up as tempting young people with money to join the military. For sure. But yeah, he would have accepted this. Why? Why didn't you expose the plot there and then?
Money.
Also revenge on this guy though.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's what you said. That's what you deserve for saying doing nothing.
Britain acknowledges no part in these alleged misbegotten dealings. I advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Jig-Oku.
As a witness, I am bound to tell the truth, my lord.
Ooh, sassy.
Anyway, I picked Asogi and explained the details of the plan to him. The target was Inspector T. Gregson, That was a condition of the British study tour.
Hold it!
Why, Kazuma? Why did you pick him as the assassin? As if it's not obvious, Jesus Christ.
Quite.
He was the most capable of all the applicants. And in addition, I knew his desire to travel to Britain was very strong. In fact, it was almost more than a desire. It was his whole purpose in life. Yes, as his best friend, I can certainly attest to that. The way he threw himself into his studies, the way he pursued becoming qualified as a lawyer. It was all ultimately for that single goal of being accepted on a study tour to Britain.
And of course, we know the reason behind that. He was determined to find out for himself the truth about his father, Genshin Asogi. There's nothing I wouldn't have done to get here. Be that agreeing to assume the role of an assassin, or betraying people's trust.
Well, you certainly did a fine job of betraying mine, Asogi. But why was Inspector Gregson the target? I have no idea. Those were the orders from Britain. I was in no position to question them.
You have no idea? Really? I find that hard to believe.
Oh, do you?
Judge Togoku was once a visiting student here in Britain himself, of course. Perhaps he has some connection with Inspector Gregson from that time.
The defense really ought to catch up. With what? With the fact that the assassin exchange was absolutely nothing to do with the case under scrutiny here. Yes, I've already admitted to recruiting Asogi.
Yeah, he was literally visiting during the Professor killings, and literally,
He was
literally he was friends
Yeah.
with the guy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
They were all buddies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Also, what do you mean? This is nothing to do with the case at hand here. Like, yeah, we're talking about who killed Gregson, for peace sake.
Yeah.
Aren't we? This is 100% exactly to do with it.
Ah.
But what do I know? I ain't no lawyer.
However, in the end, but yeah, the victim is your target. Yes, okay.
Like, yeah?
However, in the end, something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission. Oh, and I forgot to press the button. Shut
His
up,
claim is
mate.
that what happened a year ago is nothing relevant. La 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 la. You're right.
I presume you're referring to the incident that occurred during Kazuma's passage to Britain in January. The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship. Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure from our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but the body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I'd placed on the ship to accompany the assassin. Obviously, Kazuma didn't actually die at all, but he did lose his memory, including all details about his special mission. But apparently it was so powerful he remembered it
Yeah.
through it all.
Through the power of... I don't know.
Did you not consider dispatching another assassin at that point?
That wasn't possible, simply because that black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as Asogi's replacement.
And you knew you could never get him to kill anybody.
And there was no way to stop him from reaching Britain. Ah, my hands were completely tied.
So, Mr. Sholmes' strategy worked perfectly.
Yeah, he predicted everything that would happen. He's not that much of an idiot.
No, right?
Guys, come on.
Months later, my memory returned. But I'd never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway.
So, you were playing me right from the outset, were you? Is that it?
I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than of taking someone else's life.
yeah, I believe him as well.
Honestly, yeah.
That's the thing. He's
actually.
not really a killer. He got a bit of a justice boner.
Yeah, he
as
does.
Well, but
And
you know,
he wanted to be here, full stop.
yeah,
So if he says he never intended to kill somebody, then I can believe, honestly.
yeah.
I was prepared to do whatever I had to in order to get myself here to Britain. I
Yep.
feel like that said, yeah, no, you're right. I think he probably would stab Van Zieks if he could.
I don't know. I think
But-
he might also just want him convicted.
I mean, yes, okay, fine. Stab him in the thigh, maybe.
Yeah,
But also, like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but he considers that Van Zieks falsely accused, convicted his father
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. He got him killed, essentially. He got his
So-
father killed, and for that, you know,
It depends on whether or not Kazuma's an eye for an eye kind of a person.
in which case he also wants to get Van Zieks falsely convicted. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, at any cost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
So potentially setting him up.
yeah.
I don't know.
This line of questioning has gone on long enough. All the court should be concerned about in the testimony given by this witness are details relating to his relationship with Inspector Gregson and the victim's murder.
In that case, as I've already made perfectly clear, I had no connection to the man or his death.
And you have some means of substantiating this plea?
Jesus Christ, man. On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times.
It wasn't.
No. Outside your cabin in the first class area of the SS Grouse, you mean? Yes, that's right. Not least because there was a murder of a student passenger earlier in the year, I imagine. The liner operators have taken to posting a crewman outside every first class cabin door.
Seems a little extreme, but
Yeah.
okay. I can confirm the presence of the crewman guard myself.
Like, okay. What do you mean?
Because I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk that night. I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-built crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin.
At that particular time, of course, I'd gone to the ship's dining room for dinner.
The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for Judge Dagoku's return.
I suppose Inspector Gregson was there in his capacity as the Reaper. He was intending to take the witness's life.
No, wait, what? We just established that Kazuma was the assassin.
Oh my god, what, Rinosuke, what are you doing?
What is happening?
Are we following, or are we just following Kazuma's story?
Yeah. Exactly. As I've said numerous times now, I had no intention of killing anyone.
So the crewman led two potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding. Not the most convincing of sentries, really.
In truth, those were my thoughts too.
Please stop looking directly at me.
Yeah, this is quite distressing. But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Gregson for a short while, and then I left him there and made my way off the ship, alone.
Was the guard still at the door when you went?
Yes, he glared at me as I walked past.
You see? That proves it!
Proves nothing.
Dude, that's like, you could also... If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. So clearly, I can't be involved. We've been through this. Hold it! You stuffed it with socks.
Stuffed it with socks.
The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, you mean?
Oh, so that was a thingamy, Jacob.
Yeah,
Drill.
exactly. They weren't there. Like, that's right. A muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. To be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. But as it happens, he's a vital witness
Oh no,
now.
he's a witness.
Oh, you are going to have a good day.
Oh no. There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot. And it's inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that. On the other hand, no, hang on. We sent him to Italy, so maybe I don't have to do his voice. Tee-hee, hoo-hoo, ha-ha.
It's true. He was also paid off, so, you know, can we really trust him anyway?
That's true. But wait, what about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned out the sound of the gun being fired.
Sadly, young judicial assistant, that won't wash.
Oh,
You will recall that my cabin was in the first class area of the ship, which is also, of course, the quietest. Don't imagine for a moment that it's anything like, was steerage? Steerage from the judicial assistant's go. Oh my god.
I didn't mean...
Wow, surf.
That was
you.
really shitty.
But a hole like that made by a bullet was found. But a hole like that made by a bullet was found in your cabin, Judge Jigoku. That's compelling evidence that a gun was fired in there.
What's that? A bullet hole? a bullet hole?
Oh yes, you're talking about what the detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. Yeah, no, he's like, it's fine, you can't do anything on me.
Yeah.
That was obviously a rotten panel, eaten out by woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet.
Fastest woodworm I've ever seen.
That's the whole in this argument. Sadly, I was unable to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me. But obviously, if a gun had been fired in my cabin on the night in question as the defense advised, bless you, I would have been arrested on the spot!
Thank you, Tetsugoku.
And would never have made it to Britain in the first place. Yeah.
Like a woodworm out of a gun, perhaps.
Oh my god, strong hearts! Shut your whole mouth!
Oh, it doesn't matter which judge we've got.
Very true. The witness's logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard from the witness's cabin on the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth.
Jesus Christ, we're going to talk about the fact he literally tried to, like, pay this guy off with money.
No, right? Bulkaka.
I'm glad you've seen sense, my lord.
Cheeky fucker.
I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking on his incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by someone else is still a real shock.
It's unforgivable. Using Kazuma-sama's feelings to manipulate him into agreeing to such a despicable plan.
But I think Kazuma manipulated Judge Jigoku too. He completely double-crossed him.
Oh dear. It's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma-sama's part.
One way or another though, Gregson ended up dead. I really think that the murder must have happened aboard the steamship.
So, you mean...
Judge Jigoku must be lying.
I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment, but you must destroy him, Mr. Naruhodo.
In court, right? Right? So yeah, we've pushed everything. I don't actually know where to go with any of this!
If there'd been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it, so clearly I can't be involved. I'm wondering...
You know what?
It's either there or the at all times. No, maybe it's at all times, actually, because...
Yeah, we'll just, you know...
yeah, Jigoku wouldn't need a gun, but... Jigoku should be afraid to hell and back hearing Sasato go, you must destroy
Yeah,
him. No, I
here.
agree, right?
Yeah, shall we do the fire drill?
Yeah, but, cause,
Yeah. Yeah, fire drill.
It's definitely the fire drill, but I'm gonna say it's the outside my cabin at all times.
Yeah, this part, like,
rather
yeah, I think
than
so. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for.
A member of the crew would have heard it.
Yeah.
But it could be,
Let's do an objection.
it could be either. I don't know.
No, I think it's this. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
as the court has heard, there was a crewman posted outside Judge Jigoku's cabin. However, we can be sure that, contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times.
What?
I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard the steamship on the 31st. What? Where did you get that? It's evidence gathered by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember. Herlock Sholmes again? According to this itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m. and for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Grouse were to gather on deck for an evacuation drill.
All crewmen were away from their posts.
And during that 20-minute interval. Any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one.
To the moon.
In summary, Judge Jigoku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime. Oh!
And a semi-related note, dingus is such a wonderful
Objection.
word, isn't
I
it?
love it
I
so
love
much.
the word dingus. It makes me happy.
Well, we'll do it's the clown one, right?
Yeah.
We'll just pull out the clown still. Like,
Speaking of which, do we not have live Fanzeek's reactions?
Oh, we have live on Secret. He's just going. There we go.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is him right now.
I think so. He's just my fate is like
wishing
this.
he had his chalice.
Remembered that I forgot to turn my volume down on my PC before I switched the monitor over. So let's
Oh, that could have been a wild ride for
because I had just turned it right up. Yeah, onto like 80.
Her stuff is connected to the speaker, so
Yeah, the
we would have known.
speakers. We would have. Yeah. A 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find, Rinosuke. But it amounts to nothing.
Why?
Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. But if he's the murderer... Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false. Oh, we have the watch winder. Dougal.
Yes.
Your accusation is nothing more than conjecture. Although I guess it could mean that, Gregson might have just dropped it there.
Yeah, it's like,
Very true. Well, counsel?
Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Because the defense has the evidence to prove it.
We do?
I think we're good.
You will present the evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Jigoku's cabin on the 31st of October?
I'm gonna go with the small component because,
I think that's what we have, right?
Yeah. Judge Jigoku, this was found in your cabin yesterday.
What is that? The crown of a pocket watch?
A pocket watch? And if you will observe, the victim's pocket watch, which we all know he treasured, is missing precisely that part.
You mean the photo of the woodworm hole, right, Astro Dude?
It can't be.
Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. I'm actually in a way surprised that it didn't make us fit it on there first to confirm whether or not it was actually a perfect fit.
Yeah, we're just assuming that they did that.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't at any point go anyway. Sorry. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Jigoku's cabin tells us that the victim's watch almost certainly broke there.
It wasn't even from the cabin, it was from the trunk.
Yeah. Grr. In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill. In the cabin occupied by you, Judge Jigoku. Well, You're razor sharp, aren't you, young murderer?
Again.
I like how we're all just like...
Objection.
Oh, wait, it's clowning time.
Expertly maneuvered, Rinosuke. And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. But rather like this pocket watch, it's full of cracks.
What?
And I believe Judge Jigoku feels the same way.
I was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year. Sorry? If I'd known that it would result in anyone having to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the world your ridiculous bombast.
I feel like admitting that in court is probably a
Yeah.
good way of proving yourself to be quite a
Well,
liar,
The
actually.
thing is, he's like, well, I don't have to worry about, like, you know, a jury.
No,
So I
that's
could just say
true,
whatever the fuck
isn't
I
it?
want. Like, he only has to worry about Strongheart, so, like...
I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony.
When you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you'll notice the pitfall into which you've stumbled. Okay, this is sounding dodgy now.
Right.
Prior to your renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin means that you acknowledge he was there, I presume.
Yes, I do.
Very well, then. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about what exactly happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of the 31st of October.
Of course. As a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice.
Juice. I read that as juice. Obstructing the juice.
Juice. Witness testimony. The events in the cabin. I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with an I don't know what that is. Ippon Seoi throw.
I chucked him on the floor, governor.
Yeeted the man, though he couldn't wait to run after that. I'm sorry for not knowing how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It was nothing more. Sorry, the dog just made a really weird squeaking noise.
She's just...
Oh, she's lying on her nose again.
Yeah. She likes to lie on her nose and then she makes weird squeaking noises through it and it
Yeah.
wakes us up in the middle of the night sometimes too. She's fine.
She's fine. Dry air.
Dry air, old dog, floppy face.
It has nothing to do with his murder. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain, because his body was found in London. Well, that sure is a statement, innit? At least you gotta go like... Ippon Seoi.
You yeeted him across the room?
Ah, common Jujutsu material arts technique in my country. I was careful not to use too much force, but the man obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take.
So, Rinosuke Naruhodo, I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you?
What?
The fact that the pocket watch was broken in the witness's cabin in no way proves that the victim's murder took place there, which, to be fair, is what I said he'd say, but still.
Yeah. I've no doubt that indeed... Sorry, I've no doubt the inspector intended to kill me. Okay, Pocket wants this one. But he didn't manage to pull the trigger.
Yes, Because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's hand of death.
I mean, this is the shit Van Zieks throws at every
Yeah,
single...
exactly, but I bet he was never expecting it to be thrown back at him!
Well, that is true. One second. Right. Well,
Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense, as far as I can tell.
let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord. But if his testimony holds, Judge Digoku will be deemed to have had no involvement in this case.
Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination.
I would do it just to piss you off, mate. Throw your schedule off. Sorry, my lord. The defense has a right to cross-examine, and I don't intend to squander that. You're an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten.
This guy is really not endearing himself to me.
No.
Wow.
No.
In that case, proceed, Mr. Naruhodo. Narudodo, more like.
Because we're witnessing his extinction in court currently.
In court, we will destroy him.
We will hopefully destroy him instead. Duh.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. And I forgot to press the right button. Because that's always...
Technically it's the left button actually. The right button is present.
Actually, it's the left shoulder button.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah, you're right.
just
Yeah, no.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door had just left your killer pass, you mean? Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police
He
inspector,
wasn't lying, was he?
which was the truth, of course. He wouldn't have had his identification with him, though. He had his trench coat and moustache, not to mention the bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced. But the man accompanying him would have had 2 swords slung around his waist.
2 sword. Singular.
2 sword.
2 sword. Interesting. You mean me?
Who else? Yes, that's true. You would have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off alarm bells in the guard's head.
The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned, and I immediately disembarked the ship.
Certainly. All I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin.
And you entered without any inkling of suspicion.
That's right. None whatsoever. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. Hold it!
Gregson did a lot of things, but very few of them were done that foolishly.
Yeah. Obviously you're talking about Inspector Gregson. Yes, though at the time I didn't know the man's name. And there was no time for introductions even. I value my life over manners. By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose. That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. But I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life.
Have we ever seen Gregson with a gun? I don't think we actually have.
I don't think so. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before.
It's possible he hadn't.
No, believe it or not, most of us haven't. Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself. I soon took care of him with an yeet, though. We couldn't wait to run away after that. He couldn't. Oopsie. And neither could my button pressing, apparently. Come on, take me back.
Country roads.
Hold it! Even though the man had a gun. That was a very brave move, wasn't it? My yeet is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you. But surely all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it? Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape. The outstanding guard does it again. And luckily, there aren't many situations that I can't get out of using a quick yeet. I'm sorry, this is gonna stick.
Yeah.
I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder.
Yeah, like you said, when did Kazuma slash with his sword? I mean, I guess one could argue that that could have been at any point since Gregson had his box with him.
That is true.
Allegedly.
Also, the box somehow returned, like, you know?
Yeah, like somehow, like, presumably if he was doing all that, he wouldn't have... Did he say he was holding the gun with both hands? Or did he actually specify or not?
I think he was just
He specified that it was shaking, but I don't remember if he said it with what he was holding.
No, he doesn't say.
No, it doesn't say. Because, I mean, usually you don't hold a gun and... It's... Are you trying to stop the dog from squeaking by waking her?
Yes.
Look, let me do that.
Why don't you hold the dog gently?
I don't think she wants that.
It's not good for her to sleep with her little tooty nose like that.
I don't think you can lie on your face like that, darling. Squeaking was getting loud.
Yes. And now the tongue is hanging out somewhat. Sorry for the dog break. What usually also happens when she does this is basically her tongue hangs half out and then she wakes up with a really dry mouth, and usually it causes problems later on, and old dogs, am I right?
I can't even imagine how bad it gets when they actually have floppy faces from the beginning.
Yeah, God.
This dog has like a normal dog nose and not a particularly floppy one.
No.
It's just got floppier and mushier as she got older.
Yeah, like, God, pugs must just sound the worst as well.
Well, I mean, I can't even imagine how it must
but-
feel for them as well.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyway.
The crown snapped off and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked. Preferable to the man's head being pulled off. Or his spine cracking, wouldn't you say?
Escalated quickly! Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place.
Was he shot with his own gun?
It makes me wonder.
Absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my yeet! Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true, for that no shot was fired in the cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall. Oh, do we know
when the drill was?
Yes, we do. Hold on, forward record. Oh yeah, we can check if the watches at the same time. Oh,
Good
my
point.
God. I see what you're saying. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Where's my... Oh my God, there's so many things here.
It's near the end, isn't it? Of the stuff.
Here it is.
That crumpled bit. Yeah, the
10 p.m. What's
10
the watch
p.m.
again?
for
Was that
20
also
minutes.
not 10?
The watch is stopped. Oh no, we wound it up and it started ticking again.
Oh crap!
So we can't tell.
Oh.
So I'm gonna assume that it's not relevant in
But
that
that would have
case,
been
but
good.
that was a really good idea.
Yeah. I think I was stuck at 8.
Oh, dingles.
Damn it!
Actually, also wait, didn't we establish that?
It kept ticking after his death.
Yeah, because it wound down
Yeah.
rather than.
Yeah. Damn it.
Nuts. The time has got to be relevant though.
Mhm.
Do we know how long a wind-up holds? I think we said 24 hours
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
because Gina was saying he did it once a day.
Mhm.
It stopped at 5 p.m. in case 4. Oh, thank you. So presumably, yeah, I think we did establish that it did keep. It wound down after he died rather than stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, because when we wound it back up again, it started ticking. Meaning that it wasn't actually broken.
Yeah.
I remember now. Thank you for the confirmation. That's really helpful.
Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall. What on earth are you talking about? Huh? That was the star of your lowbrow detective. Sorry. That's what the star of your is it lowbrow?
Lowbrow.
Thank you. Detective stories told you, is it? Well, I don't care for such fiction even.
Lowbrow being kind of trashy, common, you know, reality TV level. Highbrow being, of course, you know,
Of course.
highfalutin,
Yeah.
posh,
Yeah.
poopala.
No, I wish it was just a poop alarm.
She's miserable.
She's being needy. Don't get all Tamagotchis on the old generation, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Because she's a brat now, she's gonna keep asking. Anyway, haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling?
Wow, he's really throwing in the diminutive insults, isn't he?
No murder took place in my cabin. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London. Brother in Christ, we all know he put him in the fucking fridge.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no! No! No!
Bum.
So that's his story. No, we still have a thing to check.
Well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, we don't say, Mr. Naruhodo must have been murdered there, do we?
Is that a veiled threat of what might happen to me if I break another one?
And the fact is that Inspector Gregson's body was found in the little room on Fresno Street. If he really was killed in Jigoku's cabin...
The body would have to have been moved somehow, obviously. The trunk!
Yeah,
My god! The fucking trunk!
Canoodle says you helpfully showed that even you, Judge, a giant, fit into that trunk. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah! Like, transporting a dead body over a country border. That would be impossible for the majority of people.
But probably not somebody trusted, like a judge and foreign, what should we call it? Liaison
Yeah.
person.
So there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible for the culprit then. Yeah.
As well, he's not some kind of ambassador. Trusted.
Couldn't possibly comment on that.
That could be a vital realization, I think, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh no, wait, we've gone
Oh,
through
yeah,
this. I just
we
want
have.
the last
So the
one.
last one.
Yeah, there we go. The inspector was clearly killed, having returned to Britain because his body was found in London. Yeah, fuck that.
A lot of people are found in London.
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive. Just take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, stripling. What? If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, how on earth could he have gone back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at the same spot.
And then the antelopes eat the grass!
It's a devil of a thing.
Sorry, I thought I knew that one.
Well then, obviously the culprit must have moved the body. How exactly? Carrying a corpse of a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think? Well, yes, that's true, but...
All passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels. And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage.
If the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. That is assuming that you weren't trying to frame somebody, you know?
Yeah.
There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain.
Let's kill that idea then.
But perhaps not. Live Gregson reaction. He's not live though, is he?
You know what? No. I'm going back to this one. This must just be the worst, having to listen to this fucking shit.
No, right? Just, I mean, yeah. Decomposes fitfully. Live Gregson reaction.
Miss Susato?
We've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea.
Yes, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative. Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you? I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. I think I also alter my testimony, with your consent, of course, my lord.
I have no objection. State your amended testimony now, probably.
Thank you, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to get it over and done with.
I wasn't reading. I was just dramatically acting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain. Yeah, my fucking tootie. There's an idea. Think about it, Stripling. All passengers and crew disembark at the same time and pass through the same checks at the border. Symposium guests were then driven straight to the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry.
And we met you as soon as you arrived at the hotel.
Sorry, why is it okay with witnesses and prosecutors just keeping insulting us or even threatening us? Well, it's because we're foreign.
Yeah, quite.
It's fine.
What about freight? No, exactly. Like, hand luggage, sure, but they... Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have the photo.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you did. Well then, remind me, did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time? Well, no. Wait, I like how we've all been here going at that first, like, oh no.
Yeah, literally when they took that photo, it was like, oh, this is going to be relevant and I don't like it.
So we're in agreement then. I couldn't possibly have brought the inspector's body back to Britain. Well, maybe.
I couldn't have bought the inspector's body at duty free.
Unless, of course, they develop more clever devices these days to instantly move things from A to B. Funny you should say that.
Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it does seem to go in the way we feared. I agreed.
The defense has become unusually quiet, I notice.
Yes, because there's really nothing more to say. So that's the story. There we go. Well, I suppose if you think about it, when every property, yeah, we
don't say, oh, Mr. Naruhodo died here, I suppose.
Yeah. We know how to move, how we moved him across though. Okay, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, because...
Don't want to give you guys a heart attack. Okay, so, guest waiting. Yeah, when I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with a yeet. He couldn't wait to run away after that and then go. Oh wait, no! No! Oh my god!
What did you do that for?
At least it's not the last one. It's okay. The trigger button was a bit trigger happy. There we go. See, here we go. Okay, I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with murder. That's not possible. See.
Yeah. So, what if we, like Ganadoodle suggested, actually check the photo again?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And see if there's a different dialogue on it.
Oops. Yeah.
Although there might not be a dialogue on it at all. There wasn't before, was there?
No.
It's just a looky thing. Ugh.
Oh, there's Gregson photo. Where's ours? There it is.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go for it. Shall we just try this one?
Let's.
So present. Sorry, now I have to go back.
You do.
Life is very hard for me.
Objection!
Did I get a real objection? There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite is true. And what's that supposed to mean?
He shouldn't have brought his suitcase into the photo, should he? He should have just left it out.
Yeah, well, it looks a little bit sus. We go like, oh, I don't want my suitcase in the photo. Hold on while I drag it out of the frame. Like, come on. Far from being impossible for you to do. The transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do.
What are you talking about, Rinosuke?
As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took a rather lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial thank you, status. You don't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous! Ha ha ha! Idiot.
He was being weird about it when the guy from the hotel wanted to move it. It's true. And Gregor was found dead after that.
Yeah. I presume you recall this, Judge Jigoku? It's a photograph we took in the foyer. Foyer?
Foyer.
Thank you. Foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you a large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside.
Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting...
I'm afraid I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jigoku's trunk. I didn't want to be right about that.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Like,
lie.
the second we knew, we knew.
Yeah, exactly. If he fits in, it definitely Gregson.
Exactly. Gregson was a weedy little thing, despite all the fish and chips.
Order! Order! Order in court! I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk.
It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside this trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple. Wouldn't it, Judge Jigoku? Suddenly he hasn't done his stretches anymore.
No, right? But inside his trunk? How horrifying!
And after we'd spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street, taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body. I must say, I'm mostly skeptical about, like, it fitting in a cab.
Yeah.
That trunk.
Yeah.
That is actually, I mean, I guess,
Well,
like,
it depends on
carriages,
horse
like,
yeah.
that on top of it.
The horse-drawn cabs actually probably would
Yeah.
fit quite happily.
I was thinking it doesn't fit in one of those, but you know it does.
If he got like a... Yeah.
Yeah. It's a horrifying concept, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense. Dr. Gory, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She's acknowledged that there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition would have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator.
Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between.
Yes, I'm sure they are. But one place they are certainly found on is on large ocean liners. Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. And the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikatoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Jigoku? However, much you prolong... Sorry, however much you prolong this debate, good God, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. Well, this is all very heartening. I can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study here.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
I see we've gone from being like, I should have locked you up, to being all like, well, I can manipulate the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
Judge Jigoku, please, stop diverting attention from the issue at hand. The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of which the victim was killed... When, thank you. You must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical. The actual scene of the crime.
The prosecution's stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Baroque Van Six shot the victim at point-blank range.
Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling. The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here.
How can you say that?
Quite simply, because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. Yeah, it's the fish, isn't it?
We don't have the fish.
No, but the autopsy report mentions it, doesn't it?
It does.
Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna save and I'm gonna double check because it did get updated. I think she made some amendments.
I mean, yeah, the fish definitely is mentioned, but I don't.
Where's the autopsy report?
I don't recall. Yeah, I think.
Or not?
No.
No. Nope. It's not in there. Gosh, damn it! I thought she put it.
What
in
about
there.
the?
Huh?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Nuts. Okay. Hello, Gooby Goose.
I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Hold on. Like, you know.
What have you missed? Oh my.
The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. Well, we have the.
We did a whole thing with Sholmes and Mikotoba. Mikotoba dances like a champ. Yes, we are currently accusing Judge Jigoku of murder. It's going about as well as you could expect. He's insulted us quite a lot. Strongheart talks too much. It's icy out and it's been snowing, so you've been looking after Mum for the last few days. Oh my, yes. Well, good. I mean, that you're looking after. I mean, yeah. I mean, I both do and don't wish it was icy here. It's just wet.
Wet
and cold. We'll probably write the Gregson was dead in the trunk. No, we had next to us. Yeah.
Died instantly. Hold on. Does the autopsy report actually mention that?
No, accurate time of death is not. Evidence suggests measures may have been taken to disguise the time of death.
Victim was shot. incarcerate from the resulting instant death. Yeah, okay, so that
Yeah.
does make match with that as well. Yeah, we went through the fact that the blood
mean,
might
the-
not have
the
been his own.
Candle and firework very clearly isn't. You finished the blanket you were making for your niece, now focusing on a pair of socks. Ooh, it's good. We're like
That's still-
socks here.
Sorry. We do.
Socks and muffins.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I still want to
think,
know
in the trunk.
what happened there.
Wait,
What?
the blood on the trunk.
What about it?
Oh yeah, we can't use it because we can't prove it's like related to him in any way, shape, or form. That's
That's
just
just-
proving that he was elsewhere. That's- I have no idea. Hold on. Wait, 31st of October. How would he have actually been able to get, like, where he died in time?
What do you mean?
Oh. Hold on. The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly.
The day afterwards.
Yeah.
The day that they arrived in London.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just double checking.
The sock
Oh!
pattern book.
I
No.
have not sent. I missed that message. Like long story short, you sent it when I couldn't check it.
Were we
I
at my
have
parents' house?
Yeah, no, maybe we were dealing with your mother at the time. So
Oh.
yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot to pass it on to Pocket.
My
I'll
mother's
do it after this.
responsible for a lot. I'm sorry.
That woman stresses me the hell out. I don't know
Okay.
what to use here. I feel like I'm missing something really obvious that's telling me that AI absolutely allowed to help me there, chat. I mean, this is just a notice board, nothing there. This is the crime
Crime scene.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have no thoughts. I will have thoughts for you when I've seen it.
the
The
clockworks.
clockworks and trunks of the autopsy. Yeah, like
There's nothing on here that's like hidden.
it's difficult regarding like the autopsy feels too obvious,
That's a glint.
but that's wrong.
Sorry for just keeping on flipping through it. I'm trying to think.
Thinking is hard. Maybe but the evidence suggests measures may. Caliber of the gun uses matches that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary.
That's actually a good point. But
Judiciary.
yeah,
Which Gregson was not. You must not merely look, but observe. Yeah, well, that's all fun and games until I forget how to use my eyes.
yeah,
Is Judge Goku included in the note about the gun being for the judiciary?
yeah.
Maybe, although I don't
No, sorry.
know
Should
if that.
Shall I just go start throwing things at it
I
and see what
guess
happens?
we saved, right?
Yeah, I'll save again, just in case. There we go, I've saved.
But the autopsy report does feel too.
Yeah,
Obvious?
well, let's do it, yeah. No,
The Japanese really are a curious breed. To proffer an argument with such conviction, only to present such nonsensical evidence.
Perhaps my Japanese friend's inexplicable thinking is why people talk of the mystique of the East.
in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not the only Japanese around here. Do you even have a mirror? Worth it.
The court is not interested in the mystique of anything. You will be penalized accordingly.
Okay, no. Right, okay, well,
Japanese.
we haven't missed anything on this after all. Yeah, Yes, a small part of Inspector Gregson's pocket watch was found inside Judge Jigoku's trunk.
Yes, I believe that could be very significant indeed.
And, what do you call it again?
Crown. A pocket watch is quite useless without it.
Yes, that's right, the crown. What a very grand name for such a tiny part.
That's exactly what she said the last time we discussed it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay, well, thanks, game.
Well, we can always check that. She mentions it was in the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different trunk,
Mm-hmm.
though.
The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully, yeah.
Been through this as well. I imagine Mr. Sherms could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job man.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have Jigoku's trunk, which is annoying.
Well,
We only have Gregson's trunk.
Yeah. So this is where the little policeman figurine key goes into Wind the Watch. I'm just double checking we didn't mess anything.
Yeah.
Winding it up every day for 10 years without fail.
Yes, it was obviously a thing of great importance to the inspector.
Or a reminder of the past, lest he forget.
Hmm.
Okay, well, this is just fluff, some lore.
There's nothing on the
Nah.
lid. Well, let's look at his little trunk again. His travelling trunk. Just check that. Why not?
Look at this dark stain here. Do you think...
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, actually... Hold on. I still don't really know where this trunk, like, exactly sits in the story, come to think of it. I'm gonna throw the trunk at it! So
Yeah,
that presumably means, what?
Yeah. That this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes.
Do you think Gina's been carrying this around with her? I mean, Kazuma's fucking sword is in this goddamn thing!
No, quite.
If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips.
Does it though? It's literally on the metal.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But he likes to oh, no, there's nothing going to be of interest here because I misclicked. I don't think there's anything. Let's have a look inside. I don't think there's anything.
No, you're probably right, but it seems really silly to throw it at them when there isn't.
Yeah, that passport.
Oh, yeah, that was
okay,
the
so
passport thing.
This is all the same.
That's it, isn't it?
I'm still gonna throw the trunk because I don't know what to.
Yeah, I don't have any other option. We've just loaded. Yeah. Didn't Suzachi say the crown from the clock was found in Jigoku's trunk? Yes, it was, but we don't have that to throw.
Oh shoot!
And I think didn't we already like discuss that? That's how we knew that he'd been there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think the
That's-
clock arguably could have been broken by the fall.
Mhm. Oh, why would he also have returned with his traveling? Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, but I suppose if his trunk was open and it fell in his socks, you know. Like, it's not beyond the realms of possibility for somebody's trunk
Yeah.
to be...
No. Yeah,
For somebody's trunk to be open inside their cabin,
Yeah.
if they're not expecting guests as well. Like, I can imagine... I mean... I see where you're coming from, but also I don't... I want it to be.
Mhm.
No, it was the best point you found. Yeah. I mean, I agree, it's a good point though, but I think they're probably gonna... I mean, I guess we could try it, but...
Sorry. Yes.
But I don't know... The watch is useless without it. Yeah, but all it does is set the time. The actual winding device is the little policeman.
Yeah. Do we need to talk about the sword?
The little policeman figurine that was on the floor.
You're right. That's actually a really good point.
But why would the policeman figurine be on the floor if he wasn't murdered there?
Yeah, quite. Exactly. It's like.
Like, if anything, the little policeman figurine being on the floor there
And the red.
makes our claim weaker.
Yeah. The red headpiece is.
Yeah, well, that was a setup. Wait!
Mhm.
Why would the fucking red hairpiece be on his head if he died there?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Take that!
No.
I mean, no, but
Just had to try for a second.
yeah, like,
I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, it
in
was
this case.
clearly set up, but he didn't. I mean, who had the opportunity? But he could have just dropped on
What?
the wig.
Yeah, I bet you this is like a piece because it's been so long that we forgot about. Like,
Yeah, probably. Okay. Well, the candles were.
blown off. Right, like.
On the other hand, actually, the candles do contradict it. Because we established that that was designed to make a gunshot noise.
Yes.
But
My God. This is just that.
yeah,
That's just a photograph.
yeah.
That was just the whole thing with getting his double to do the job.
Jigoko mentioned that he didn't know what the crown was, which was weird to me. Did he?
Yeah.
Why would you point out that he didn't know that?
You know what?
Good point.
That's a very good point.
Well, I mean, we can always.
Take that!
Well, we did. Apparently, it's not. Did we do the clock already? The pocket watch.
The pocket watch itself,
We might as well.
can't believe it's only taken us to the last case to get here. I mean, to get to the state of I'm just gonna throw everything. I think.
Take that!
No.
No. Okay.
I am also kind of like, what did I miss? And
Yeah. Right.
oh, it's gonna hurt once I finally just go to throw the random.
This
thing.
is where you accidentally save instead of loading.
That's fine. We lose one life.
I
Not
know.
the end of the world.
This is where you do it multiple times, and we just suddenly go like, and
oh
we
my
failed.
God.
Fan 6 is dead. Just use the gun. Yeah, you know what? Just use it. I agree. Just shoot
Instant-
Strongheart. Be great.
Let's see, instantly die, nothing weird.
It'll be grand.
This is gonna he put it, yeah. Like, but yeah, this is a prosecutor's gun, not a police officer's gun. So
Judiciary's gun.
oh yeah, wait, it is, isn't it? Like yeah. God, I have no idea. Did I miss anything on the
I was gonna say.
That looks normal to me.
Yeah. Except for the wig that.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, he stole it from Francisque and put it there, yeah. Rickson is also conveniently in the shape of a trunk. That's a good point, yeah.
It's a
He
very
is.
good point, yeah.
He's all curled up, like.
Wait, he instantly died. Why would he have curled up?
That's a good point.
Let's try. Let's just yeet it
Yeah,
out
let's.
Take that!
there. It is it!
Huzzah!
Oh!
Well done! Good point! Good catch! Everybody,
Yeah, we
well
got there.
done!
In the end,
But
we
yeah,
didn't have
you're
to
right.
just...
I was just assuming that he died dramatically in a curly uppy
Yeah.
thing, but yeah!
Yeah!
Boom!
Yeah!
Good job, you! Well, don't go overboard. She is smart though, isn't she? Yeah.
For a kobold.
A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed.
Yes, but the point is, the posture of the body itself. Yeah, it's very much trunk shaped.
Trunk shaped. Good job!
Yeah, you were like trunk
Yeah.
shaped. It's like if he died instantly.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room, it's out of the question that his body would have been curled up in a ball like that. Okay, who's objecting? Oh my god. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. You could easily have adopted that fetal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal. No, he
Ah,
instantly
no,
died.
immediate.
No. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Jigoku, but it's your logic that is flawed. What? According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position. Ah! Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now.
You're suggesting...
The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned on the floor. From the inside of a large travel trunk.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Now we've really let the Gregson out of the bag. No! You're quite right. The shape of the body. It looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space.
Good catch. Together.
Super good
We
catch.
share one brain cell.
Yay!
Dusty Goku, present your trunk for examination!
Take off your shirt.
I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood. Arg! Yar.
Yo.
Present my trunk? I refuse!
What?
What grounds? It's indecent.
Yeah.
I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations.
In other words, Dusty Goku, there is blood in your trunk. And you lay on it, you nasty...
I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that... At this moment, you're not a government minister. You are a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court. I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be, but you will not withhold information. Nothing is more important than the truth. Ugh. Wow.
Order! Order in court! Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it to be?
You can't be serious. You did it.
Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi?
What?
Very well, I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense. What?
You...
Dear God! Outrageous!
So it was you! You admit to Inspector Gregson's... No! I admit to nothing more than what I've said. Or of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection.
What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean?
I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else. You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man? As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. And moreover, he'd already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life.
Oh.
That's right! Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi!
You...
Are we going to have to, defend two Blorbars
I
at
mean,
this
it
point?
seems this way, right? I never thought you'd stoop to this, Seshura Jugoku.
You've taken the words straight out of my mouth, Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you?
Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question.
Yes, on an assassination mission, no less.
You wouldn't.
So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense, what is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was, in fact, Mr. Kazuma Asogi.
This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer is right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku, or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well. The defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is...
The gun is deployed by the judiciary and Kazuma is in Britain as a judiciary. It's true.
It is sadly possible though.
It is possible, but... I mean, I want to say impossible, still because I actually believe him when he said he didn't kill
same.
Gregson.
We're just gonna say
But-
impossible, we're gonna believe in our friend or something, right? Like he said he would never... I mean, hold on. Didn't he... I guess, yeah, he could have done it still.
I mean, he could still have done it, but he broke the sword tip off and he has lied a lot. Yeah. Ugh. I want to believe in him, but also
I'll just press possible for shits and giggles.
he did say he left them in there. Yeah.
Well, it is possible, my lord.
What? How could you?
Do you think I want to believe it? But the fact is, I can't say with complete certainty what actually happened because I wasn't there.
You disappoint me, Ryunosuke. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo,
Please hold my hand again.
I think perhaps that's why we form opinions based on evidence.
Oh, really? Ah, so true. And actually, we have evidence that can settle this argument conclusively, do we?
Do we?
Do we?
Okay.
My lord, the defense would like to present evidence in support of...
Before you plough on, feigning ignorance of what just occurred, counsel, you must be penalised for that short but embarrassing you uttered a moment ago.
Oh, I really thought I could just brush past it if I was quick enough. Worth it.
Never mind the penalty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is all that matters.
I'll just leave it. I'll take this one. Judge Jigoku, let me remind you of something you said only a few minutes ago.
Oh wait, yeah.
You claimed that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process. It is, no question. Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime. I like how we're like, no, we meant to say this all along. What? Also, throwing Kazuma under the
No,
bus
right?
for a brief moment was good.
Yeah. The court will The
Court.
court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of the thing that I'm
Asogi's
saying
involvement,
when
I'm
you're
sorry.
okay? Prosecutor Asogi is in
moment. Show me that Prosecutor Asogi didn't do it.
You see, he,
Where is the evidence?
Which evidence
Tell
shall
me
we
the
give?
evidence, Mr. Nawahodo.
Do we have evidence? What shall we use?
Have evidence. I don't
Chat,
know.
help! I don't know.
Chat, where is the evidence? Help.
I get to listen to this banger of a track in the meanwhile, though, so it's okay. No, nothing here. Like,
I was wondering about the sword too, but all that proves is that he at one point tried to stab Gregson in the trunk.
and it's
The trunk that has to have been with him because it had his papers in it.
just like nothing hidden here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't know where Kazuma was because he was a mysterious little bitch as far as I know. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, well,
And one additional person to travel, so we know he went there with him.
yeah, but would he also have needed it to get back in? I guess not, because he was without him when he came back.
Hmm.
Man, this last case is throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, right? Boogle boogle.
Like, we know he was shot during the fire drill. Because that's the only time it could have happened.
Yeah.
Because that's what we assume has happened. Wait a second. When we open this up, what was inside?
And that's the paperwork. The
Yeah.
travelling paperwork, I
Yeah,
believe.
that was just the traveling paperwork, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the traveling paperwork that's in here, so that
Check
doesn't
it
really.
again though.
Huh?
Check it again though, just in case.
For 31st of October. So this passport is for the day before Gregson's body was found. He needed this document for his trip to France. And when it says permission for one applicant and one additional person to travel, I can't believe it was you, Kazuma. Yeah, probably in 20. Cool.
Someone got you check.
You guys can in the meanwhile like speculate.
Your Tamagotchi's early.
Yeah, she's basically it's time now.
No, I mean she's like a minute
Yeah.
early, almost. Truthfully.
I was like, yeah,
yeah, we were like, yes, we're good. No, we're dumb.
that's his identification.
Yeah.
Love this track, so I'm okay. That's just
We
the
don't. We don't have anything about Kazuma specifically. So.
Like, this is just the report regarding like the telegram. Like,
Except his sword, yeah, but like.
yeah, what does it exactly prove?
I was gonna say, it doesn't prove that he couldn't have killed him. It just proves that he didn't kill him with his sword necessarily.
Yeah, like, cool, he didn't.
Although he still could have done that and then cleaned it up.
Yeah,
After
he has
broke
two
it off
swords.
in the trunk.
He has two swords.
And he has two swords.
two
Yeah.
swords.
We only have one of them. The passport doesn't make sense if Kazuma left. Anyway,
No.
if Kazuma left Gregson alone.
Yeah, it was on the way back that he was murdered anyway, so like.
Ostensibly, yeah. Oh, sorry, you just went on, so we don't have anything for Kazuma. Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
It's clean.
Thank you.
Mr. Sogi describes the only one. I don't know exactly how you got back in the country,
Yeah,
if I'm
no,
perfectly
right?
honest. Or do we just want to yeet the
Although
passport?
technically that's only issued for travel to... I mean, I guess we've saved, right?
Yes, we have.
Because I can't think, so it won't be helpful to have access to the full court transcript of...
Yeah, we just...
Transcript.
Exactly,
I know, I
it'd be
agree.
nice, like, like...
On the other hand, if we had access to the full court transcript, I think I would probably definitely rely on it way more than just having the evidence that we've got. But at the same time... Oh dear. You're making the evidence weep here, Rinasuke Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. They're not playthings you can toss around the courtroom for entertainment.
Okay, well, I'll reload.
Never mind the evidence. You're about to make me weep, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh no, I can't upset Susato-san. I'll end up being upset too. You know, a member of the crew was on sentry duty outside the first class cabin nearly all the time. I'm just letting this play and then I'm reloading. So as long as the guard was there, it would have been impossible to fire a shot without it being heard. And that very much narrows down when the crime could have been committed.
Okay, so we do apparently. The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. But
It is the truth.
So but like, what tells us where Kazuma was?
Yeah, like,
Do we know? The guest book.
we cannot. The guest book was from the other case,
Oh,
I think.
what?
Yeah, the second case didn't have it. Like, no, it
Oh,
wasn't the guest
that
book,
guest
the log.
book. I see.
I'll just present. I'll do this one for a second. No.
No, I guess not. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
the
Okay,
itinerary
it is
for
the
crew.
itinerary.
Oh,
Sure.
that was a bit vague, you guys. For crew members of the SS Grouse, my lord, this is conclusive proof.
An itinerary? How does that prove anything?
What?
Judge Goku, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant.
Did it?
What? Why?
I mean, yeah, obviously.
same.
Duh. Yeah, what? Why, though?
On the night in question, as always, a crewman's sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin.
Oh, yeah, Kazuma said that he left. I mean, he arrived and left while the guard was there. But
I'm supposed to
assuming.
believe that.
Well, he could have left after the shot was fired.
yeah, like
Just
exactly.
because he said a guard was there before and after
Yeah.
doesn't mean okay. This is
That's why I
yeah.
brushed it off.
That's why I just assumed that that's not conclusive proof of anything.
yeah,
but
same. Oh well.
Absolutely, because it's inconceivable that the guard wouldn't have heard it and come to investigate.
So that tells us that the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere.
Words only matter when we're wrong. See, oh, you're right, Galandur. Yeah.
And that narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary. Yeah, we got that!
Yeah.
But how does it mean that Kazuma can't be involved?
No, quite.
Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far.
But the crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. Ah! Now, clearly, the murder could only have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Asogi stated in yesterday's proceedings.
I see. Yes, that would have been handy in that case
Yeah.
to have, some proof of that. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. So I left Gregson and disembarked the ship.
That wouldn't involve me having any memory of this.
I spent that night at a boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. Didn't we discuss this before Christmas? Is that why we forgot?
Maybe.
did we
Also, I
discuss this?
feel this should have been entered in the court record as a reminder. You
No,
stupid
right?
game!
This is
Because
the
that would
thing.
have been like, hey!
Yeah. Yeah,
Nah.
I forgot that he stayed in a boarding house, which is actually really stupid because I wondered what the boarding house was like and whether or not it had reasonable rates and whether or not its showers had been cleaned because I'd just been watching Hotel Inspector episodes. And I wondered how many stars it had. And yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof. That Kazuma Asogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing. If we believe him!
If we believe him.
Gah!
Although I assume that we will have proof that he stayed in.
Hold it! No, absolutely not. I don't accept that at all. What do you mean? The boy's just saying that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really disembarked the vessel. Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to...
Come back and...
Yeah. No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Kazuma?
As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book.
So you had a
Well
guest
done,
book,
Kinado. I had forgotten.
Me too. I was like, wait, no, that's the other case. Yeah.
All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof.
It's
It
almost
actually
really
seems
you.
really silly in retrospect that we didn't immediately flag that up as proof that we would need later.
Yeah, it's really fucking dumb.
Because that's such an obvious thing to say. Like,
The Kazuma's
you know,
movements
you
and
just
stuff. Like, yeah.
casually drop the "we'll need this for an alibi" thing.
Yeah. I also, what kind of gets me is that are we supposed to believe it was really him? Like,
Who?
you know,
Kazuma,
anybody
or
could have
did you
put
go
his
through?
fucking name in.
Oh,
the guest
yeah.
book.
Yeah,
Like,
that
we had
could
the
be
whole
a-
thing about Gregson with his double identity.
Yeah, that's true. It could have been a setup, but still.
No!
On the other hand, yeah.
We'll take it. There's no escape this time. You can't. You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man. Oh, that bench is gonna get
that
it.
bench is so gonna get it.
You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it, Seshiro Jigoku? It was that damned trial 10 years ago. That's when all this began. Oh.
Oh, it's gonna come off. Oh
Looking
boy.
back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already.
Well, you could have just not.
Ah!
Bye bye bench.
Ooh, that
Oh,
was
the
lots of
splinters.
Yeah.
Woof.
Oh, he's wearing gloves. I hope
I
we
meant
didn't
for
get
the
any
rest
splinters.
of the
Yeah.
witnesses.
It's over. My life is over.
Okay. Yeah. You could have just not. You could have just not.
A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. The assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. Though it was hardly a request, it was a demand. And for that, he decided to recruit Mr. Asogi. But things didn't go according to plan. Your chosen assassin never made it to Britain, and you find yourself unable to dispatch a replacement, because I was already on my way to Britain at the time in Kazuma's place. And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. To eliminate the mark myself, personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that. The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume? That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart and made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper. What? The Reaper?
But there's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation, the Reaper himself. So that means that the assassin exchange was... It was all planned by the Reaper?
I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. But it was all a trap, designed to lead him to France. and his own death.
Oh, how awful.
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door, so I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, so I bided my time, waiting. For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. I had intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came round and went for me in a reckless move.
Bang, bang, bang.
I'd received the British issue gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that.
So the revolver belongs to you, does it?
And that was me saying I didn't think it could be.
Oh,
But wow. You were
Yeah.
right.
then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Grouse, which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on the deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. So before the first-class cabin sentries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigeration room. And then, on arriving in Dover, we concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. Like I just could casually walk into the fridge, clearly.
Yeah,
like, you
right.
know? I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London.
In that case, you must have known.
Yeah, this is absolutely not the ending.
No, for sure. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule.
Yes. My British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon, in order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification. I decided that man would be the perfect person to set up as the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk. That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel then. Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers. Miss Venus, of course. I conceived of the candle trick there and then. So I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot.
What sort of disguise?
For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own travelling case. So I put that on, although I suspect I drew more attention to myself than that I would have otherwise.
The hairpiece we found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red-Headed League investigation.
I only arrived at the room at around 4:45. So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board and set up my little candle trick. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later.
So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap?
Except at the last moment, I made a careless blunder. What was that?
I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips.
Ah! I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. thing. I think honestly, if I'm
I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty.
Sarah, could you maybe choke Strongheart?
Yeah.
Before you leave? Just go for
Maybe
it.
point that. I was about to say finger him. Please don't do that. Always gives me a chuckle when they say in that. Like, yes, the police fingered this suspect. I'm like, wow, that seems like a breach of a lot. An exchange of assassins. What a foolhardy idea.
I just also want to know why he was forced into this. Though.
No,
like,
right?
Dude, what?
Yeah.
What was at stake here? Like, Mr. Jigoku, one last detail. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? Nothing you can say now can make matters. Sorry, nothing you can say now can make matters any worse for you. Just tell us. Enough! I've already told you. That I cannot say.
Even though, as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again. For Strongheart to be so invested in this, it's got to be him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's been
100%.
from
yeah.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
He's been the sussiest of sus.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm guessing Jigoku knew the actual ID of the real professor, not the fake professor. Yeah.
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 What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished. All of it. I'm finished.
Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson.
Like, he has now successfully put every single person, I swear, like, behind bars.
I think so. Either killed or behind bars, and just Mikatoba lost.
Ah!
Okay, he just straight up. Okay. Yeah, well, you've been saying the whole time, haven't you, Dio, that if Strongheart's behind everything, it's not like he's directly murdering stuff.
No.
He's definitely, like, masterminding it. And
Yeah.
then being like, ooh, I didn't do it. Oh, wasn't me. Oh, it's a me, Louis.
Says Shiro Jigoku, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found guilty.
I like that they use von Zeke's font for
Yes.
And may I remind, I'd sat down, and may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court.
this. No fireworks?
Well, no, we
I just
found...
realised we didn't get fireworks.
No, because he was found guilty, not innocent.
Oh, I thought we'd also be celebrating if we found somebody guilty, I guess.
Iris is writing a story about this as we speak. Yeah, you can't stop her.
No.
She's above the law.
Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt.
Oh, wonderful. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm eating my own hand.
Yes. Thank you.
Is something wrong?
I'm just a little troubled by his silence.
the true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion.
I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As a prosecutor,
Oh my god, does that mean we get to face Van Zieks again?
I hope so. I've missed him so much.
As you wish. Now, for the formal adjudication. I hereby declare the defendant, Baroque Van Zieks.
Wait, what? No, or we have to deal more Kazuma shit.
The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred.
Jesus.
Counsel.
No, we don't get to face Van Zieks again.
Sad face. The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all.
My brother in Christ, Kazuma.
I mean, he's not wrong, though,
No.
to be fair. And therefore, it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position.
Sorry.
Strong had to Ryunosuke in their first meeting in G1.
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path?
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite. Yeah. Yeah. I'm super so set on the path to totally get Gregson killed. Whoops.
Yeah. What?
But Tachikoku has already confessed. Nevertheless, Baroque Van Zieks has committed crimes for which he must be punished.
No, it's just sounding kinky, Kazuma. Stop
I
it.
know, right? I mean, everyone just feels that way for Van Zieks at this point.
Well, it would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Asogi.
Certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Sashiro Jigoku. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with the plot. Into this sick, merciless assassin exchange.
So we can't just ignore the fact that this little shit might have had anything to do with it, you
It's
know?
true too.
That,
Van Zieks is just gonna lie under the bench in the prison cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, just him being like,
Yeah.
I get to go home. Oh no.
that may be true, but
So what I want to know is, who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? The victim went to France, having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. As we've already established, the Reaper himself.
Well, certainly, that would appear to follow.
The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Baroque Van Zieks, of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt.
what?
Wait, how is it back? Do you think it's a bit like tennis, like Wimbledon? Do you think there's like instead of a ball boy, there's like a dock boy, and they just like every time it accidentally gets destroyed or falls over, they just run on with a new one? Boom.
Yes, I choose to believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, yeah.
Order! 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 The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Council. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case?
Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Van Zieks very thoroughly in that regard,
Have they?
and they found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper. Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed.
What do you mean?
I mean, if Van Zieks has a whole load of hallowed chalices prepared already, I refuse to believe that the Old Bailey doesn't have a whole ton of little dock.
Pushes.
Yeah. Or like barrister banisters. That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm going to call them now.
Do you think they're just barrister banisters? Do you think like in those walls maybe they got like a little like you can take those panels off?
Yeah, yeah,
And
like
they
it just
pull that
slides,
whole thing
it
out.
slides
Yeah,
out
yeah,
on rails,
yeah,
and then they
yeah.
just pull a whole new one
Yeah.
out from behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so.
It's always T.
We do have the full file for do we not?
I don't believe we do.
Oh no wait, we don't, we just have the
We have this transcription
Yeah.
transcribey
Yeah.
boy. Mhm. It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself, which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That is the prosecution's intention here. I must say, I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zieks. And I will bring you to justice for it, whatever it takes.
That explains Kazuma's silence before. He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zieks unwittingly started 10 years ago.
Yeah, right. Kazuma is very much dead set on it being him.
Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will, on this occasion, grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the Assassin exchange.
Wilson and Gregson were unaffiliated with Van Zieks. How is he going to prove he ordered their deaths? Did he even know Wilson? I think he did know Wilson, by proxy, just because he kind of hung out in that group.
I don't know.
But maybe
nothing.
not. I
we've
mean,
heard nothing
Wilson
of
was
it.
around when Mikotoba, etc., were there,
Mhm.
because Wilson signed the paper,
Mhm.
the autopsy report of Clint, actually, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes.
And Mikotoba wrote it,
Mhm.
right?
I don't.
So I think that was the whole point, right? Like, the reason Iris thought her dad was the guy who hung around with Sholmes,
Mhm.
and the reason she thought his name was Wilson, John Wilson, was because John Wilson signed the paper,
Yes. Yeah.
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mikotoba transcribed it, the autopsy report.
Uh-huh.
So they were, he did the autopsy on Clint, and that there was like that ties that in with, so, yeah, like they definitely were all associated with each other then, because like Gregson was involved. I mean, we have a photo of Gregson with Clint and Baroque, right?
Yes. Yes, we do.
So they definitely were all kind of...
Oh.
They're all involved in the same kind of vague... But how much they actually knew each other full stop is... Yeah. Man. You wonder if we can prove the autopsy was falsified by him and Gregson and prove Genshin wasn't the actual killer. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to prove that Genshin wasn't the actual killer, though.
Yeah.
But,
Somehow.
yeah.
Well.
I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely.
Oh god, he's doing the pose again.
Means I have to do the pose too, just in order to get really into character. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing.
The neighbours must think I'm insane.
Oh my god.
Oh, and they're all lighting by themselves again, just for funsy onesies.
Oh, does the skill also reset?
Looks like it. No, wait.
Oh my god!
Oh, we have a chalice and a leggy. Oh. Oh. Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice.
Lord Van Zeeks!
I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now.
Oh sir, you themed your bottles around it.
I mean, it's true, he really did. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it.
Oh!
That's a second smashy. I guess he can't chuck it into the fire because there's no fire there, and there's very little. I mean, two. So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all. Good. Then let justice decide, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness, in order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey.
And what says the defense?
Putting the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. And Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment. He's not thinking logically.
You're right, that he's not himself. But I knew it would be like this. And I came here today, determined to face him through whatever might arise, as a lawyer and as his friend.
Then that's what we must do.
The defense has no objections, my lord.
Very well, defendant. You will take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange.
Oh my
God,
goodness, thank you for
Kunado.
the gift subs, Kunado. And one of these days I will do a custom animation. Rather than the bot.
Standard.
Yes. As you wish, my lord. Just for that, I should have done all the Strong Hearts lines in the Discord bunny voice for you.
Wow.
Kitty.
You're not doing Van Zeeks like that.
No, I am not. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Yep, sorted what he said. Let's leave.
So you deny all accusations by the prosecution? Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassin exchange?
Yes.
I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Vinasuke Naruhodo.
Yes?
Hodo? Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom?
A desire to uncover the truth.
Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty?
Yeah, but he's not though.
Yeah, he isn't though, is he? Because he's Fantique, so we all love him.
From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. The truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth.
I want you to remember what you just said.
Enough dilatory chatter! Counsel for the defense, proceed to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, my lord! I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction, you're convinced, lies somewhere within this man's testimony. The Reaper and the Assassin exchange.
I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill.
Hold it!
Oh, 24 lives left. Wait, I should actually save. I just realised the game hasn't been like, would you like to save? And it's been like 300 years.
I've also missed Fantique. I'm going to miss him a lot when we're done.
It's okay. So you're not what the general public refers to as the infamous Reaper of the Bailey?
Exactly. Don't imagine for a moment that the court will be satisfied with a one-word answer on this. I realise that.
If you're intending to comment on every sentence, this could take a while, Kazuma. Didn't you find it disturbing, though, that one by one, defendants who'd been acquitted after your unsuccessful prosecution were killed?
Let me answer that question by posing another. If, one by one, defendants who'd been acquitted after your successful defense were killed, would you find that disturbing?
Disturbing? I couldn't possibly say how that would make me feel with one word. Sorry, with a one-word answer like that, sorry.
Exactly.
Well, that told me...
But even though I'm not the Reaper, that doesn't mean I ignored all the hearsay. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement.
Hold it!
You say for years. How long exactly?
Since the very first time the Reaper's influence was felt in this courtroom. 10 years ago now.
And your investigation led you somehow to Inspector Gregson, you're saying?
I didn't want to believe it. He was a personal acquaintance. We'd worked on cases together in the past.
Look how tortured this man looks right now.
All right.
It's beautiful.
He's... Yeah.
A friend, even.
He's been betrayed by so many people he
Yeah.
considered friends. Actually, I understand a lot about him. But he only gets a little bit racist when the Japanese people betray him, right? When the English people betray him, he's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a different time. It felt like a betrayal, but I demanded permission to search his office at the Yard without his knowledge. Which is when you found his secret notebook, is it? It's when I first learnt of the location he'd noted only as grouse, and the appointment at 5 p.m. on the 31st. Though I didn't know the significance of those details at the time. He still is a clown, but he is our clown.
Yeah.
Our beloved clown, and he will, I think, live in our streams for a very long time.
So now we're at the nub of the matter.
I do not like that wording. I
No.
would just like to point out, I don't.
I
Something
had
about
to take that. I was like, no, I did. Rinosuke, take those words out of your
Like-
mouth and flush them down the toilet, please.
Yeah, and now a little soap gargle, if you will. Somehow that was just extremely unappealing phrasing. As it turns out, the significance of the blah blah. The
Yeah,
significance.
like an either.
No. Significance. The significance for me personally was very unfortunate. Get my nub out of your mouth, Rinosuke. My learned Japanese friend. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body.
Hold it!
But why did you go to that specific location?
I thought that if it was the Reaper's headquarters, then by turning up there at 5 o'clock, I would catch whoever was involved red-handed. Sadly, all that was awaiting me was the inspector's corpse.
Yes, even though it wasn't designed for you, you walked straight into the trap set by Jigoku.
Exactly. Jigoku had intended to implicate Hugh Boone, but unhappily for me, I arrived at the scene first. Ha! A ridiculously careless blunder.
Moved on to just throwing insults around. I see then, Kazuma.
Think what you will. It doesn't change the truth. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson.
Hold it!
There is a link between you and Gregson, though.
Of course. We were close acquaintances. We'd worked on numerous cases together. I considered the man to be a mentor of sorts. He taught me a number of important lessons.
He did? Such as what?
How to eat chips without getting grease all over your fancy gloves. Oh no!
Yup! As she said.
That feeling when you think you've done a good joke and then the game is like, actually. You do screenshot that. Oh my god, I was about to hit print screen on my keyboard. That's not gonna help. Where to buy good fish and chips and such like.
Well, that was convincing.
Dr. Wilson was a coroner, of course, but that was some time in the past. And in any case, I understand it was several years ago now that he was invited to work at a Japanese university.
No comment. That's right. He was a visiting professor at the Imperial University in Tokyo.
It should be unambiguously clear, then, that no link exists.
Give me a sec, sorry, I have to wait. There you go.
No link exists between myself and him. In other words, I had no motive for sending some assassin across the oceans to kill the man.
It sounds plausible enough, and I want to believe it. But something about this doesn't quite sit right with me. Oh my god, I've stopped being able to read.
Huh? I'm glad it's not just me. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
Hold it!
Certainly, as it stands, there is no evidence to suggest that you concocted the scheme.
Objection!
Now,
But as it stands, we have only the accused's insistence of his innocence.
sorry?
Perhaps there is some reason that would explain why he masterminded the assassin exchange. And if a reason could be established later in these proceedings, then the accused's claim in this testimony that he wasn't involved would amount to perjury.
Holy shit, Kazuma.
And smug
Well.
face, I want to punch him.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's true, but
Clearly, Kazuma-sama intends to identify a reason and use it to make his case.
so if we don't identify something first,
He'll gain the advantage.
this could be dangerous.
Great, now we have a time limit.
Yeah.
Countdown theme.
A convincing testimony by Lord Van Zinks.
Certainly. With no apparent connection between the three men, there's no way to establish a motive. The testimony seems unassailable as far as I can see. Oh dear me, what a bleak expression!
I agree. There doesn't appear to be any particular link between them, at first glance. But with the inclusion of one other person... I must be overthinking it, surely.
Another person, Mr. Naruhodo.
I need to think back over all the information we've gleaned so far.
All right, and I'll review my notes about the case and all the evidence in the court record.
Clint.
Yeah.
Could it be that Lord Van Zinks has something to hide after all?
I was wondering about Clint too, because if you add Clint into everything, but...
First, I'm gonna go see.
Yeah, Wilson and Clint's autopsy. Yeah.
Okay, let's go through it. So, enough taking the other life, obstructed, investigating the truth behind the reaper for years. Unaware of Greg's involvement. Yeah, why he went to Fresno Street. Yeah, this is what
That's
we're
the
going
one we
for.
need to present to, but it's gotta be Clint, because
He got killed. Wilson wrote the autopsy report.
yeah, that's Gregson's, but
Yeah, I know, but I was actually
yeah,
looking
so
for the
you've
photograph.
got yeah, Clint, Gregson and Van Zinks. I mean,
I'm gonna try presenting the
Perot.
photo.
Really?
You want the autopsy report? Actually, there's a better one, isn't it? Like, I was thinking
For a second, can I see it?
the autopsy.
Yeah, the actual autopsy report. So yeah, the coroner was him.
Mm-hmm.
Time of death. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's this one. You're right.
Recent scarlet ink stains.
Yeah, it's like
Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel.
the ink stains. Like what?
Hmm.
I'm sure that will come back.
Red ink
Oh.
stains. Yeah. Inspector Gregson for petitioning so
Yeah.
doggedly for the autopsy procedure. There you
Yeah, there we go.
go.
Objection!
Sorry.
That's okay.
What is this? An autopsy report? Wait, this is 10 years old. From the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zinks.
What? My brother's autopsy report? I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth.
Yeah, Van Zinks is having a
Yeah,
terrible time.
he
of it.
really
Like,
is as well. Like that was a horrible thing to bring out. Cause, yeah.
Order in court. What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel?
Oh god, we're gonna have to. I know, I don't want to dig up his body, but you know.
No.
This.
His brother's brother.
The,
That's Van Zinks.
the autopsy report of the professor's final victim. is an undeniable link between
Indelible.
Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant.
Not that accursed name again. The Professor. I've personally researched all of the court records relating to that case. I know that at the time, autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victims' souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint Van Seeks, it was unthinkable. But someone implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure. And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. His signature is clearly visible on the document. As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi was guilty of the murders.
Oh, I see, we're now going to poke at everybody's sore spots.
Apparently
This is such
so.
a fun thing!
Yep. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Things that happened.
I mean, I do believe that Genshin did kill Clint Van Seeks.
I mean... Yeah.
I genuinely do believe that Genshin Asogi killed Clint Van Seeks. But
Well, potentially for a good reason.
I do not believe that Genshin Asogi was the professor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, man's talking. I have to stand up again. Indeed! That was the key to indicting the Professor for his crimes, and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Seeks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvellous victory in court. I need to do breathing exercises.
A marvellous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true. What? Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was, in fact, fabricated?
Excuse me?
If the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death.
That's outrageous.
That's outrageous. God. Kazuma and Van Seeks, for some reason, are really difficult to switch between.
Yeah, I can see why.
And now, 10 years later, for some reason, the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. Which is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassin exchange.
She's sitting right there, Kazuma. Please point
Yeah.
your finger to the...
To the
Just move it to right. I think.
right? Yeah, I
To
think
his right. I
Yeah.
think it's to his right.
I think it's
yes.
to his right. If we
Yeah.
just roll his model around
Yeah.
and just hop. Oh, the single brain cell worked through chat again.
Yeah. Actually, wait, hold up. No, I don't think it's to the right.
Is it?
Because we're...
No,
it's
it's
right.
to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to the. Thank
no,
you.
no,
Yeah,
it's
no,
to
we
his
have
left.
to turn him to the left.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah,
I was.
no.
I didn't like any of that.
Order! Order at once!
10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer to be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I would prove it, which is why I had to come to Britain, whatever the cost. Oh boy. You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese's tenacity of purpose here.
Okay, I see you just pulling the shitty race cart out again.
However... Oh, he's really treating us today, isn't he? He who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer.
You want to speak, my
You
man?
want to speak. You're all like, I'm going to just pop my leg on the table. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah.
Come on, Kazuma. You know this won't wash. You're claiming your father was misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, there's nothing more than a wild accusation.
As it happens, I have evidence.
What?
As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Gregson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Sessura Jigoku. But my true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth. What truth? The truth about the evidence. And he acknowledged what I'd already deduced. There's a closely guarded secret about what went on in that autopsy 10 years ago. What? A secret? I know nothing of any secret. While we waited for my supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword, Karuma, before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was.
Right, I see. You're that Asogi's young lad, are you? And what, you're gonna cut me down with that thing, is that it?
That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth. That's all.
Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. But unfortunately, back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick.
So, you admit it, then? The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated.
It was for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders.
That doesn't wash well, Gregson. You don't get set. Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak!
I'm not saying another word.
Even if your life depends on it?
That's right, even then.
Shing, shing.
So that's when the tip of the sword broke.
Greggy does have a habit for Queen and Country, it's true. He is noble in the weirdest ways. Oh, Kazuma-sama. If the results of Clint Van Sieks's autopsy were fabricated, then the investigating officer, Gregson, and the lead coroner, Wilson, must have known about it. There's one person who isn't dead, who was at the autopsy. The person who transcribed the notes. Professor Mikitaba. He was at the autopsy and should know full well what happened. But his name's not mentioned anywhere, so...
Oh dear.
And they can only have been ordered to pervert the course of justice in that way by one man. The man leading the case for the prosecution, Baroque Van Sieks.
I mean, hello, it's going to ignore Strongheart in all of this.
All right.
Who was the OG?
Who was the original prosecutor?
In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins.
Dude, like he holds that much power. He's just a lawyer. Sorry.
Exactly. And as was established earlier, it has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange.
The man doesn't like working with the Japanese.
No, quite. Well, only because they betrayed him, allegedly. Because
no.
Genshin killed his brother.
Yeah, but no, man.
Otherwise, Genshin was his friend. Orcs. So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Baroque Van Sieks. He really is dead set on Van Sieks and the taste of Strongheart's boot for sure.
Objection.
Delicious.
Oh, he objected, all right.
Good
We
boy.
got a proper objection here.
Yes!
Kazuma Asogi. What you've just told the court, are you absolutely certain of your facts? Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago? I heard it with my own ears, his shameful admission. In that case, I know the name of the Reaper. What?
What, Van Sieks?
I gave no such orders, I know that for certain. Which narrows down the remaining possibilities to one.
If Lord Van Sieks isn't the one behind all this, then yes, there's only one other person who could have done something like this. I believe I know who it is too.
You...
I just had a feeling this name was going to come up. The true identity of the infamous Reaper of the Bailey is... I mean...
This is going to go down well, isn't it?
It's clearly Beppo.
It's clearly Beppo.
It's Beppo.
Yeah, it's been Beppo this whole time. Obviously. Sherms did it.
Sherms did it.
Take that!
The only person who could have arranged the assassin exchange and manipulated the autopsy report
Yeah, was the what
is the Lord Chief Justice himself. Like, we've literally been told that he asked for an alteration on, like, some of these reports. Lord Mill Strongheart. Oh, I'm very scared now.
What? Lord Strongheart?
Sir, catch up. Good God. Yes, it's true that 10 years ago the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court. But he only took over the case after his brother, Lord Clint Van Sieks, had been killed. We are in so much danger right now.
I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history.
Well, Lord Van Sieks?
10 years ago, I was very new to my profession. But I had a burning desire to avenge my brother's death, so I pleaded for control of the case. The investigation to that point the supplication of the lords to allow my brother's corpse to be examined. All the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you. I have spent my life since then believing I was in your debt for the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. But I see now. I was very much mistaken.
It was a hugely influential force that caused the inspector and the coroner to break the law 10 years ago. And that same force was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world by Seshiro Chikoku. Lord Strongheart, everything falls into place when we recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, and
Oh my god,
he put the chalice out.
chalice again!
Oh!
Ooh, the court awaits your response, my lord. This may very well go down in British judicial history, but I assure you, it is no joke. Consider this a formal accusal by the defense.
It doesn't warrant a response. A formal accusal, don't be absurd! The defense's claims are utter nonsense. A wild fantasy at best.
You're not going to defend yourself.
You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Clint Van Sieks's autopsy. That's utterly untrue.
Objection.
Wait, oh, it's Kazuma.
But I heard it from Gregson's own lips. He admitted to it.
And where is your evidence?
What?
You kind of need it, mate.
Gregson's dead now, unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand.
You mean to say?
I forget how the system works in your little backwater country. But in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case.
Dude, we literally have, like, evidence that you asked, like, what's her face? Gory to change the fucking autopsy report.
Yep.
That's also sus as hell.
Right. Well, maybe in 150 years we will.
Whoa! Oh!
Oh my.
I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything. Order! Order in court! Following Inspector Gregson's murder and in the light of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago. Is there?
Mikotoba, Mikotoba.
So that was the real purpose of the assassin exchange.
Uh-oh.
This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that was concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and the defense is categorically denied.
We should be able to emergency down Mikotoba's like,
No,
pull
right?
out the Shrome's, like, thing.
I'm working up a sweat here, man.
I take it there are no objections?
Kazuma, he's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. Is there really nothing else we can do now? Is there no other avenue we can go down in pursuit of the truth about what really happened all those years ago? If only there was someone who could testify about Clint Van Sieks's autopsy.
Oh, yeah.
There is someone!
Yeah, I'm sorry, Susato, your dad's in danger.
He's gone to extraordinary lengths to cover his tracks, even so far as dispatching an assassin all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's silence. And Dr. Sai won't say anything against Strongheart, yeah, because she can't, like her family's, I think. But there's still one ray of hope.
Objection!
Okay, we got to do an objection! Yeah, we gotta poke at you anyway.
I'll sit down again now.
Actually, there is one person who could still testify about that autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous! There's no one left!
Who, Ryunosuke? Who? Tell me!
Kazuma,
Please! This trial can't end! Not yet!
I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for the truth. The person the defense would like to call to the stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zeeks is...
It's to the left.
Here we go. Present.
Take that!
I didn't save, but whatever.
Heaven help us! Another Japanese!
An expert in forensic medicine, my lord, Professor Jujin Mikotoba. 16 years ago, he came to London with Shishiro Jigoku and Genshin Asogi as a visiting student.
And what could his testimony possibly tell us?
Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant. Rolling R's isn't contagious, apparently. Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He was also the person who actually penned the report.
Incorrect. The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature.
Handwriting.
It was the primary assistant's duty to keep a written record of the coroner's work during the procedure. In actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it.
In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. The defense demands that Professor Mikotoba be summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened in that autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us. Oh, don't you fucking dare.
The defense's demand is denied.
What?
But Professor Mikotoba is in London at this very moment. We could summon him to the stand in minutes.
No, of course he's not going to agree to it. Strongheart has no intention of summoning anyone who knows. And now, Mikotoba is in serious danger!
Yeah, but he is with Sholmes, who isn't as much of a fool.
Yeah. He's too concerned about protecting himself. Oof.
Prosecutor Asogi, let me refresh your memory, as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance. Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the Reaper and of masterminding the assassin exchange.
I did, yes.
So present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete.
At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence, but that's exactly why we need witness testimony.
The Professor case is closed. There are no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today. I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Asogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father.
This is very unprofessional behavior.
Isn't it, though? Well, Mikotoba is so lucky. Like Iris. Oops. Like Iris. Strongheart didn't notice the autopsy signature didn't match the rest of the handwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, right? He's a mastermind, not a genius. Ooh. Strongheart said the truth would be revealed. He can't backpedal on this. Yeah, but his truth, not the truth.
No,
Only his own truth.
Now, as I stated earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Seshiro Jigoku. As for any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will be investigated in due course by the proper authorities.
Objection.
No objection. But we all know what will happen.
Yeah, Van Seeks will die, I'll die, everyone will die.
Yeah.
Everyone in this courtroom will die. Actually, there's a poison gas attack now. Ooh.
Just give the mastermind of the whole venture time to cover his tracks again.
Imagine, actually, though, if the next scene cut to Strongheart and he was just wearing a gas mask. Like, everyone else just... Oh no, the Old Bailey had a gas leak and miraculously only Justice himself managed to escape unscathed. How could this have happened? Oh no, all of Britain's judiciary just boop in an instant. Sholmes may well get the bloody queen on him, actually. She will not be amused.
By which you mean me? Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Asogi, you will be remanded following these proceedings. Willingly, I trust, since you gave your word.
That would be wild. Absolutely crazy, having the queen as the judge.
Oh my God.
Prosecutor Asogi, what do you do?
This futile game of revenge is over, young Master Asogi.
Should have left your tentacles on, mate.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, everybody's having a meltdown right now.
The old judge was actually the queen all along. Oh, that explains everything. Also, Socket will have to voice him then. That
Wait,
will,
what? Put your eyes of what?
That will be all. Something, something, something,
it.
something, something. Who just what?
Sholmes?
Hi.
Sholmes!
Objection.
Mr. Sholmes?
She just says death for treason, and then we get fireworks. You know what? Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
This is no place for amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes. May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public. You will leave the courtroom at once.
I have never spat so much on my chair in my life.
Mr. Sholmes was instrumental in the apprehension of Seshiro Jigoku before he fled from Europe. The court should hear what he has to say.
What the fuck does this man sound like again? Oh my god.
Annoying.
Lord Mail Strongheart, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage.
Is it really? And why would that be?
You need only recall your own words from the opening of the trial to answer that question. If I may...
I choose to believe Mikotoba is right behind him.
Yeah, same. We will stop at
We will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings.
Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory. Can it?
The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered.
It would seem that we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today. I put it to you, my dear fellows, should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along to the prevarications of your superiors? A reminder, the lords were the government this time, yes.
Order! Order in court!
It seems to me that we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices. A door that is ajar. Let us emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decade-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push this door open now.
The auditors in the gallery have no rights to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence!
He's right. The judge has absolute authority here. Yes, if he calls the trial to an end, it must end. But will that really do? I sense dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed. Is there a single person here present who can honestly... Okay. What's... The trial should go on. Summon the witness.
The trial should go
That's
on.
right. Is it clear to stop before the young Japanese something?
1C3 need your wine bottles. Yeah. Chuck 'em.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, okay, no.
My lord, you should, thus present, you would uncover the whole truth here. Vindicate yourself of this outlandish something.
Accusation.
The
The
truth.
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the very foundation of British law. A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery.
Are you actually going to drink it for a change? Oh! On with the trial! Testify! Testify!
Testify. What?
Well,
Well, my lord. well. Well, my lord, you hear the voice of British justice, I take it? I think you'll find it will be rather awkward to silence. I don't think that made sense.
The court will recess. Briefly. I have no intention of shrinking from these allegations. Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once. As soon as the gentleman arrives at the courthouse, we shall reconvene.
he's in so much danger right now. At the
We'll
same
be
time, if he
back shortly. I have to plan a murder.
Yeah. So, surprise, here he is. Nope, yep, I was thinking that as
Yeah.
well. I agree. Beep. Just holds him up.
Yeah.
Like a kitten. In the... Yeah, I'm doing a gesture with my hands.
Yeah.
It doesn't work on...
Like you're holding up long cat.
I'm holding up Long Cat, only it's Mikotoba. A recess won't be necessary, my lord. I brought him with me.
Pardon?
Mikotoba is a close friend of mine. He accompanied me today and is waiting in the antechamber as we speak.
Still left him alone, Sholmes.
Yeah. I do believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact. What? Professor Mikotoba is here, in the courthouse.
Mr. Sholmes, you didn't notice what happened, did you? He 100%
did. My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, surely.
I wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know.
Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, you are of no further use here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once.
This is the only one I can think of right now. Like,
Yeah, right. But of course, in truth, I find myself rather busy now as a result of these developments. Mr. Naru Hodo,
yes.
I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you?
Absolutely. It's still in my pocket.
She sends her regards and a reminder. If you find yourself at a dead end, the ears are at your disposal. Just one tug, if you please.
Oh, of course.
In that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand.
So, it's Lord Strongheart. He's the Reaper of the Bailey.
What is
Where
that?
exactly is this trial going to take me, I wonder? Just how deep am I about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss? Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom and confront whatever horrors it tries to drown me under.
That sounds like a to be continued.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, it seems like a excellent place to.
As much as I
Yeah.
hate to admit it,
It's. I'll be back next week.
I'm-
I'm sorry.
we'll be back next week.
With more, whatever the hell this is.
we cannot carry on right now.
No, we really can't. Like, it's 3
We thought there could be
hours.
no worse cliffhanger than before the holidays. No, right? I wasn't expecting it to be this cliffhangery.
That's like a whole extra case. The little
Yeah.
lying shits.
Yeah,
Like, do
I don't know. Either this is going to be like 5 minutes. This case,
I
where
don't
we just go
think
like,
so.
oh, Strongheart did it at the end, or
No,
but we
man.
got 2 whole goblet crunches. 2.
Yeah, 2.
Don't we all feel really happy? You need like a wall of case notes or a little book up your sleeve for all the details here. Yeah, Siddhartha has the right idea of it, right?
Uh-huh.
There is so much going on right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
100% gonna last another stream. Yeah, I think. I want to go out on a limb, and the problem is, okay, so I don't want to be all like, we'll try and get the whole thing done in one stream if we
No.
can.
We'll see. I suspect it will be a stream and a half.
I suspect it will be a stream and a half, but I also, it's really difficult.
It's really, really difficult.
Because also then what do you follow this up with? We
and
finish
then
up the
everybody
case
went
and then
home.
no, but I meant we finish up the case and then do what?
We'll do the extra material. We can
Oh
do some
yeah,
story
we'll just
time.
do some story time. Yeah, no, that's true. There's plenty of story time that we
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
throw in occasionally. Just no cases, just stories.
yeah. It's just stories.
So you will get to listen to more of my fantastic voices.
Hell yes. Naruto never shuts the fuck up.
Oh, it's so much
Sorry.
fun.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, okay.
we know. How
So next week.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I want
For
Strongheart
Pockets' sake.
to never speak again.
No, he definitely won't this next week.
Ooh.
So make sure we got plenty of like.
lozenges for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, like I would like everybody to know that my smartwatch only registered that I burned 8 calories on that stream.
You didn't do it for long enough, like at the
Well,
time.
I was standing up and sitting. I would every single time Strongheart talks, in order to get his voice, I stand up from my chair. My thighs have got such a workout, but my smartwatch was like 8 calories. And
well.
you don't do it. I think that's rude. My thighs say otherwise.
Yeah.
I hope it's worth it.
I think it is.
Good.
But yeah, so next week we'll be back on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere between 8 and 8:30.
Yeah.
GMT.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also registered that I've done about 400 steps. on stream. Just
That I can believe it.
standing up and sitting down.
There
But
you go. Your squats
8
are right there.
calories.
Yeah, well, it doesn't count squats, clearly.
No, you're very... I am so toned right now. Okay. Well, yeah, next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
I really hope everybody's enjoying it.
Oh, I am.
I hope the effort's worth it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Burning like 1,000 calories just overthinking the case. So that's true.
That's true.
That's a good point. My smartwatch can't pick up brain calories that I'm burning. There's just overheating going on in here. It smells like hot squid.
Well, on that beautiful note.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
It has been a delight, and I am really looking forward to wrapping this up next week.
Mm-hmm. To you, Dionys.
Yeah.
As always.
Yep. Hi, thanks for coming to our stream. Try not to do this in Kazuma's voice, which for some reason seems to be really easy to fall into. Yeah, I think the case will be done next week. I agree. Whether or not we have the entire wrap up going, I just, it's so difficult with this one, right? There could be like 3 to 5 hours of just.
Yeah, but like, Sherms has appeared now, and I refuse to believe it's not imminent now.
Yeah, as if that man's actually properly going anywhere, though. Say the thing in Van Zieks' voice. Oh, that's... Van Zieks' voice is surprisingly difficult at the moment. Hang on, okay. Thanks for coming to our stream. Don't forget, keep the cart in your heart. Always follow the kobold motto. Live, laugh, loot, objection. And until next time, we hope you all be well. Good night.